I knew for a fact that if I kept making videos the way I was making, that you probably wouldn't see me anymore. I reached out to a bigger influencer that's locally, and we had a chat. And he was like, man, you should keep doing this type of content. You should keep going. And he's a nice kid, right? Nothing against him. But he had something along the lines of like, hey, I have a tendency to tell people what to do. And therefore, after, proceeded to tell me what to do, which is great, right? I get he's coming from a great place. But most people don't understand is your boy Peter has been doing this contenting for quite a long time. And I started when I was like 19, 20, and your boy's almost 30. So roughly, I'm gonna round it up to 10 years of making online content. And oh boy, content has changed. I think for the better. But from when I first started, man, those were some rough times.
It's been, a year now, but I guess it's time for me to grow up and stop doing these YouTube videos. And I've decided to quit. Psych! You ain't getting rid of me. Figure stuff out. And I guess it's okay to be 25 and be like, okay, go back to the drawing board and figure your life out.
But one of the things that always kept me going was your guys' comments and the friends that I was able to make along the way on my YouTube journey. And I was able to make some really close friends from just people watching my videos and reaching out to me, and we became really great friends. And you guys share your lives with me, and I'm able to relate. And the whole point of why I started this YouTube channel wasn't to get famous. Well, maybe a little bit to have that insecurity, but it was to connect with people around the world, and that still is the case. And yes, people carry on with their lives and you lose touch, or people don't watch your content anymore. And that's the sad part of like everything, right? People come and go, but I'm always grateful for the connections that I'm able to make through these videos, even if you don't watch my content anymore. And once in a while I get like a DM. It's like, hey, I used to watch your content when I was 12 and now I'm in college, right? That's really cool. It started from me trying to figure out who I was and who I wanted to become.
2/12 May 5th. And it's completely dark right now because there's no light in my office. And today is just gonna be like a real day of what my life actually looks like on a almost daily basis. So right now I'm at my office and I gotta get me a cup of coffee. Meeting up a friend, a special friend that I know very well, that has helped me a lot. And if it wasn't for this person, I don't know where I would have ended up.
And when I started this whole YouTube journey, is that there wasn't like a blueprint of like, this is how you do it. So I just made content and videos, and I really made videos. It was me and the homie Poi. And one thing I'm grateful is to have met him, even though I had dreams of being like, yo man, one day I'm gonna be famous, I'm gonna pay you and buy you a Lamborghini and all that. Although it never happened. I look around me and it's like everything I worked for, I got it, right? Everything that I remember taking the bus all the way to like the local university so we can make videos. But back then when I started this whole journey, all I wanted was to get numbers and views. I'm like, I don't care, get out of my way, I'm gonna get 10,000 subscribers. And then I did, and I ended up burning myself out. And what I used to love so much, I ended up hating.
Going down. What up? How have you been? Pretty good.
And on top of that, because of content, it was such new of the landscape of what was going on. No one really made YouTube videos or understand content. I remember people used to shame me or like make fun of me, and I was a sensitive artist, man. I took things way too personal. But I wasn't around a support system. People were always telling me, you should do this type of content, you should do this, you should stop making videos, what are you doing, you're making a fool of yourself, do something with your damn university degree that you never did with. And it just felt like everyone became my Asian mom and dad. But luckily I realized as I got older and a lot of self-reflection 10 years later is I'm able to say that I made the right decision, right? I was able to listen to my gut and my intuition, and through everything, I still make YouTube videos. And one of the reasons that I stopped making content on a regular basis is that I would make videos and then I get really depressed and sad again because, maybe I didn't get the views that I wanted to, right? Or maybe I didn't get what I was looking for it to impact the world and get the reach that it used to have. And back then, one of my biggest mistakes was making content for so long was that I made videos for the wrong type of people. I didn't care. I just wanted the views. Proving people wrong, I realized, was that I still cared. Proving people wrong is that deep down you still care what people think because you want to prove them wrong. It's not about proving people wrong or right anymore. What I've learned from this YouTube channel is it's about making myself happy, and happiness is everything.
Yeah. Back then, I didn't even have a proper mic, so I'm like, boy, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you ready?
Challenge. And since
Who is this? I don't know who this is anymore. One thing I appreciate about you is you never said no. Whatever crazy idea I had, you're always you're gonna film me.
yeah. Oh, you're standing up too? Oh shit.
What am I doing?
So on the landscape of social media and content is back then in 2009, 2008, 2010 or 12 or whatever, YouTube it's still weird, right? You don't see people vlogging, you don't see people making content. But now in 2021, going into 22 and beyond, we got things like TikTok. No other place where you can just pick up your phone and be like, I'm gonna reach millions, thousands, hundreds of people, even if you are complete nobody, right? I remember being shamed for content and making content and being true to myself, but now it's a reverse shame where it's you don't make content and all you do is consume people's content and get brainwashed. But hey man, you do you. This thing isn't going anywhere. And I was talking to a friend and she was I was telling her about my insecurities and my journey, and she's like, yeah, these kids nowadays are popping off and doing this and that. And she was like, you were just early in the process, right? You were still learning the things. And even though I felt like I failed this YouTube channel, I was just early in the game and I learned a lot from video content production. And one of the reasons that I stopped posting for a long time is, yes, I would get sad, but also I created this complex about me where it's okay, people don't believe in me, then I'm going to start making videos for other people. And as you can see here, here, and here, is that those aren't random screenshots about videos. Those are videos that I've made for other people, helping them make money off their own YouTube videos. And I'm like, yes, this is cool and all, and it's helps me pay the bills through my still learned YouTube skills that I learned from this channel. But ultimately, I was thinking back, what am I trying to do with these videos? What am I trying to learn and grow and make content for me, right? Just me, as selfish as it is, but also be able to document my own process in a way that it can help people or is entertaining. And I'm just taking this thing one step at a time, because I've been making videos before. I'd come back and then I'd just disappear. I'd come back and then I'd disappear.
Sense of feel of failure, insecurity, uncertainty in what I want, old habits of feeling stuck. Don't take things too personally. And how I put too much pressure on myself to be successful, and how this has to work or the do or die mentality. I need to implement more gratitude and optimism, and that's one of the things I've taken away from this. And it's very different from delusion. Asking myself questions like, what is it for? So what? And what for? And the very last thing I wrote this morning was, you still have your entire life, as I'm still only 25, 26 in 2 months.
So the biggest lesson I've learned from my whole YouTube journey and content creator journey was that it was all a reflection of me, right? And I don't know about you guys and y'all and 2020, the pandemic. Check out all my other videos. rip me a new hole. And I'm still healing, I'm still growing, and there's so much reflection and self-work that I need to do behind the scenes that I don't want to record every video and release videos if I'm not in the right mindset, right? If no one wants to see a video of a grown-ass man crying, right? Or maybe you do, but if I'm not in the right mindset, I'm not gonna put out videos, right? And it's been such a long journey. It's like be able to look back and be like, man, that Peter versus the Peter that I am today.
Like, especially for content, there's so many copycats now, and it's like the more you consume other people's content, the more you're like, oh, maybe I should do that to get views. But it's like staying in your own lane and your own creativity, that what makes you special. And I'd rather make a video that's more true to me than try to make something, a piece of content that is trying to be like someone else. And when you try to be like someone else, you just become average. You know, who wants to be average in life? You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing makes you happy. You don't owe anybody a goddamn explanation on anything, you know? When it comes to content, it's like you only see one glimpse into my life. Especially on TikTok, it's even more dangerous because you got like 30 seconds, 10 seconds from some sort of deductive reasoning that you do when you see pieces of content. So it's like you never know behind the scenes like what's going on, and how you make your judgments is based on your life and your own experience, which is why there's so much things going behind the scenes where it's like some days, man, it's tough. It's tough, man.
Completely two different people. Completely. And the future is that I'm still trying to figure that out. And I'm hoping that that can find people solace, is that I'm figuring my life out just like whoever's watching, you're figuring your life out. And we're all on different paths and journeys. And I just happened to record videos and like doing videos to where I am today. And whoever's watching now, who knows, man? But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Even if it's just one person, man, you're taking time out of your day where content is like, everyone's like ADHD, 30-second clips, swipe, 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 left, right, up, down, X, Y, press start. It's a different game now, and creating content is much more saturated. So it's just me trying to make content for fun now, right? It's not trying to make a living off of this. Ideally in the future, who knows, man? Maybe I'll come back and be like, I'm post videos every day. But for now, it's making content that kind of resonates with me and sits right with me, and not so much about proving people wrong, proving people right? The only person I needed to prove is my own happiness. And coming from that, there's a lot of shame, man, a lot of embarrassment of people pointing fingers and me taking things too personally. And as the whole decade of creating content, like there's that shame factor of like people being like, you're not good enough. But I realized, look around me, fam. Look at where I'm at now, and it's like I'm so damn proud of myself, right? And it's a hard thing to say on camera without being like all braggadocious, but it's like I've come a long way, and this is only the beginning. This is only the tip of the spear. And even though I've made content and like I failed, I learned, and it was one of the biggest lessons that I'm still learning. As long as I don't keep doing what I did in the past, then I can keep going. But enough yapping. Whoever's watching, I appreciate you. And Peter, as you're editing this, be damn proud of who you've become and who you are gonna become. You feel me?